So here we would deep dive into the code, further into the code of the buffered read leader. Buffered read reader BR is the object is equals to new buffered reader, new input stream reader is system.in. So whatever you enter from the keyboard, it would be taken from system.in and it would be taken at from new input stream reader and will passed on to the new buffered reader object, that is BR. Second is string plan name is equals to BR dot read line. So it will BR buffer reader will further read the line what is being taken by with the help of readline function, and it will pass on to the plan name object which is of string type. Then system.out.println enter the number of units for bill will be calculated. So it will enter the number of, it will ask for to end for the user to enter the number of units for which the bill has to be calculated. Int units is equals to integer.pass int br.readline. So br.readline will further read the line, means it will read the input from the read line. It will read the input from the read line. It would read the input from the read line. It would read the input. It would read the input from the read line, means it will read the input pass int, and integer.pass int is it will pass on that thing read line to the integer, and int units the number of units would be taken. Then plan p is equals to 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 plan factory dot get plan and plan name. So it will uh, plan p is the object of type, that is the abstract class plan p, and it is actually calling the plan factory is calling the get plan method to get the plan name. So the plan name would be calculated, that is it called the get rate method and calculate bill function of the domestic plan, which we have defined in the previous functions. Next is system.out.println, that is bill amount for will be then plus plan name, for which the plan means for which plan name you needs to calculate the bill amount for of plus units, the number of units will be this, and p dot get rate function it will call of the domestic plan, and p dot calculate bill units functions. These are the two functions which are defined. Get rate is the function which is designed in each of the concrete classes, which is extending the abstract plan class, and calculate bill unit method, it is the method which is defined inside the abstract class, which is being actually overwritten by the get plan factory method. So this was in overall the description about the creational design patterns. Now if you have further queries regarding any of the code snippets of the creation design patterns, you can drop in the comments below. I will surely try to have a review back on your comments and provide you with the appropriate feedback. Thanks. See, further we will look at the generate bill method, generate bill class. See, generate bill is by using the get plan factory, it get the object of the concrete classes. ठीक है ना? It get the object of the concrete classes, means the commercial class, commercial plan class, institutional and domestic plan, by passing the information such as type of plan. Now if you look at this first statement, that it says it is import java dot input output, that is io java.io.abstract, then class generate bill is a type of class, then public static void main is a string args, then throws io exception, it is throwing the input output exception, that get plan factory plan factory. So plan factory is an object of type get plan factory is equals to new get plan factory, that is it is creating a new object of type and assigning it to the system.out.println enter the name of plan for which the bill has to be generated, so it will enter the type of plan for which the bill has to be generated. Further we will look at the further snippets of this code and try to understand how the complete functioning of the code is being performed. So you see here we will have a look at the class get plan factory definition. here it is public plan get plan string plan type. So this get plan function is basically returning the object of class of type plan, and it is taking string plan type, that is plan type it is taking a string. Now if plan type is equals to null, agar plan type is equals to none, then it will return null. Or if plan type dot equals ignore case is equals to domestic plan, so if the user is entering domestic plan, whether in little case or in upper case, if it is using domestic plan, then it will create the object of class type, that is new domestic plan. It would create new domestic plan is the object of the class, that is new domestic, and it would return. Else if plan type is equals to ignore case commercial plan, it will return new commercial plan, that is it will create the object new, that is commercial plan, and it will return of type to the plan object. Else if the user is not entering the domestic plan and the commercial plan, then it would check for the third condition, that if it enters institutional plan, then it would create the object of type institutional plan. This is institutional plan. So it would create the object of type institutional plan, and it would return it to which in turn is actually extending the abstract class plan. So it would return the object type, else it would return null. So this was all about the definition of the get plan factory plan, which is actually creating an object of type abstract class, that is plan class, which is further extended by these three plans. Now further we would look at the, that is the generate bill method. Generate bill method is a method which is actually generating the bill, and it is calling the get plan method, which is in turn asking to create an object of type get plan class. So further continuing with the creation design pattern, see the advantages of creation design patterns is it allows the subclasses to choose the types of objects to be created. That is, in the creation design pattern, the subclasses decide which objects, which type of object should be created of the interface or the abstract class. That is, loose coupling is allowed. That it is by eliminating the need to bind application specific classes to the code. And second most important feature of the creation design is pattern is that it codes solely with the resultant interface or abstract class, so that it will work with any classes that implements that interface or that extends that abstract class. So it basically codes only with the resultant interface or abstract class, so that it will work with any classes that is implementing that interface or that is extending that abstract class. So these are another further moving on. These are some of the two important features of the creation design patterns. See, in this video, we would like to explain about the creation design patterns. So, design patterns are used when a decision must be made at the time of instantiation of a class. So, when a decision must be made at the time of instantiation of a class, which class object to be created, then the design patterns are being used. And second feature of the design pattern is when the nature of the object of a class to be created, it must be changed according to the nature of the program. Means depending upon the nature of the program, the nature of the object of a class which needs to be created must be changed, then the design patterns must be used. And one of the important fundamental definition of a creation design pattern is that it defines an interface or abstract class. Basically, creation design pattern, it defines an interface or abstract class for creating an object, but it let the subclass decide which object should be created. That is, it just defines an interface or abstract class, but it let the for creation and of it, but the subclass would decide which object should be created, and this creation design pattern is also known as virtual constructor. So let's further extend the explanation of the creation design patterns. See here, the we are defining the abstract class that plan. First is import java.io.abstract, that is Java input output plan, then abstract class plan, and there is one data type that is of double type, that is rate, protected double rate, and abstract voice get rate function. These abstract one, that is get rate function, would be overwritten by the classes that implement this that extend this abstract class plan, and public void calculate bill, that is int units is being given, which is taking the integer type, that is unit, and system.println, that is units into rate. It will calculate the units into rate and it will print out the output. So this was the definition of the abstract class plan, which we discussed previously. And these are the three, that is the domestic plan, commercial plan, and the institutional plan, that is the classes which are extending this abstract class plan. The definition of these classes are: class domestic plan extends plan public void get rate, and rate is equals to 3.50, and this. So this is basically an extending this 3.5. Then class commercial plan extend plan, that is at override, public void get rate, rate plan, public void get rate, and rate is equals to 7.50, that is the commercial plan, and that is class institutional plan extend plan, that is rate is equals to 3.50. So this is the three definition of the institutional plan, commercial plan, and the domestic plan classes, which is extending the class abstract class, that is plan, which we further define. Now further we would look at the definition of the get plan factory class and the generate bill class.